I still remember the day my family stopped looking at me like I existed. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't a dramatic explosion. It was something worse. Silence. I got sick unexpectedly. Something serious enough that I couldn't work, couldn't function, couldn't even pretend I was fine. At first, they visited. They brought flowers, polite smiles, and empty promises, like, "We're here for you." But as weeks turned into months, their calls slowed. Then stopped completely. My messages went unread. My name stopped appearing in family group chats. I was alive, but in their world, I had already disappeared. What hurt most wasn't the illness, it was realizing how easily I could be erased. No one checked on me. No one asked if I survived. It was like I never mattered at all. But what they didn't know was that rock bottom wasn't my ending. It was my beginning. And when I finally came back, I didn't come back broken. I came back richer than all of them combined. The first months of my illness felt like drowning in slow motion. I had been independent my whole life, the strong one in the family, the one who never complained. So when my body started failing, I thought they would rally around me. I was wrong. At first, my mom would text short things like "rest well" or "let me know if you need anything." But even those stopped after a while. My dad, who used to call every Sunday, suddenly became too busy. My younger sister, who once copied my every move, stopped replying altogether. The turning point came when I saw a family photo posted. Online dinner at my parents' house. Everyone was there, laughing, smiling, toasting. My name wasn't even mentioned. It was like I had never been part of them. I remember staring at that photo for hours, waiting for something in me to break. And it did, but not the way they expected. Something colder replaced it. Clarity. I stopped chasing them after that. When you're sick and alone, time becomes strange. Days blur together. But I used that silence. I couldn't work a normal job anymore, so I started learning online small things at first. Freelance writing, digital marketing. Anything I could do from bed. My body was weak, but my mind sharpened in ways I never expected. No distractions, no family noise, just me and survival. Slowly, I started making small money. It's not enough to matter to anyone yet, but enough to matter to me. Then something unexpected happened. One of the clients I worked with noticed how precise my strategies were. He offered me a long-term partnership in a small startup project. I almost said no, I didn't feel ready. But I had nothing else left to lose, so I said yes. That decision changed everything. Startup grew faster than anyone predicted. I worked like I had nothing to live for except proving I still existed. Nights blurred into mornings. My health still wasn't perfect, but I adapted. I built systems. I learned negotiation. I studied people who had everything I didn't, while my family forgot me. I was building a version of myself they would never recognize. Within 2 years, the sick daughter they stopped checking on became a silent partner in a multi-million-dollar tech expansion deal. My name started appearing in business circles, then interviews, then headlines, and still not a single message from my family. Not even when I changed my number and moved to a better place. The irony was painful. I had been invisible when I was weak, and I stayed invisible even when I started winning, till the invitation came. My father's company was hosting a major industry gala. They needed investors, partners, visibility, and somehow I received an official invitation under my legal name, proof that someone in their world finally noticed me again. I almost didn't go, but something inside me needed closure. Not revenge in a loud way, but truth in a quiet one. So I showed up. The ballroom was everything I remembered about their world. Polished, performative, shallow smiles hiding deeper calculations, and there they were. My family, perfectly dressed, laughing with guests. Acting like success was something they had never lost. And then they saw me. It wasn't immediate recognition. It took a few seconds, confusion first, then disbelief, then shock. My mother's glass slipped slightly in her hand. My sister froze mid-laugh. My father's expression tightened like he had seen a ghost. Because I didn't look like the girl. I looked like someone who belonged in rooms they were trying to survive in. They approached me slowly, almost uncertain. "Is that you?" My mother finally asked. I smiled politely. "Hello." That was it. No emotion, no warmth, just distance. They started talking at once, excuses disguised as concern. "Didn't know how bad it was?" You never replied. "We thought you were getting better." I listened quietly, not because I believed them, but because I finally understood something important. They hadn't erased me out of cruelty. They erased me out of convenience. When I was sick, I was a reminder of responsibility, of effort, of discomfort. So they removed me from their narrative. Now I was no longer inconvenient. Now I was valuable. My father finally asked the question he actually cared about. "What do you do now?" That was my moment. I looked around the room, the investors, the executives, the power players he had been trying to impress all night. And I said calmly, "I'm the lead partner in the expansion deal your company has been trying to secure." Silence hit, like a wave. The room didn't just quiet, it shifted. My father laughed nervously, like it was a misunderstanding. It can't be right. But then one of the executives walked over and shook my hand. "Pleasure to finally meet you," he said. "We've been waiting on your approval." That was the moment everything in my family broke. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, permanently. My sister couldn't look at me. My mother looked like she was trying to rewrite reality in her head. My father suddenly had nothing to say. For the first time in years, I wasn't the forgotten daughter. I was the decision maker, and they were irrelevant. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't humiliate them. I didn't need to. The truth had already done it for me. When I left the gala that night, I didn't feel anger anymore. Not even satisfaction, just distance. The kind you feel when something that once hurt longer has access to your life. In the months that followed, they tried to reconnect. Small messages, weak apologies. Invitations to talk, but it was too late. I had already built a life where their absence wasn't a loss, it was space. I finally learned to value. People think revenge is loud, that it's about destroying those who hurt you. But sometimes revenge is quieter. It's becoming everything they assumed you never would. If you've ever been erased by people who were supposed to love you, tell me your story in the comments. And if this hit something inside you, subscribe, because this is just the beginning.